Now you wait until you hit record.
Yeah.
Test.
I've got something stuck in my throat.
Test.
That's what she said.
Test.
I'm leaving that one alone.
Okay. I'm not ready.
She's like, and cut.
All right. Hi, and welcome to the Y'all Ain't Right podcast. I'm Brittany. I'm here with Tyler and Todd. I had to think about it for a second.
I was going to say, yeah.
You get so used to saying Nick, Tyler, and Todd.
Nick is not here today. He is not joining us at the moment. But today we are going to be talking about Halloween movies.
Ooh, spooky season is upon us.
So you don't watch Halloween movies, Todd?
I'm not a big fright guy. I mean, I've seen probably most of the original scary movies, but
Scary and Halloween movies are two different things, then.
Nah, I feel like most Halloween are scary, other than maybe some of the Disney /
No, there's even one. It's supersized. Is that what it's called? Not supersized.
I was going to say, that is
Yeah,
not
I
a
don't know.
Halloween movie.
I didn't think of it until just this very moment. And
Like Scream could be a Halloween movie. It's not scary.
Well, I mean, they're Halloween-themed movies,
Right.
and they're movies that are out during Halloween season because they're scary.
When you say Halloween movies, I think of Freddy,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Krueger and those guys, and the jump scare kind of movies and stuff like that.
I think of the themed ones because I was always watching like ABC Family,
Yeah.
Countdown to Halloween,
Yeah.
30 Days of Halloween or whatever.
Yeah, when you say Halloween movie to me, I think of the Halloween series, the Jason movies and stuff like that.
Well, you've seen all those too, though.
Yeah, I mean the old ones. Like, I can't tell you the last time I went to a scary movie in the last 10 years.
Although I will say, scary movies
Or seen them on TV.
have come a long way because I've always said it's the one. Well, maybe not, but one of the only genres I can think of that just would have consistently low budget, no famous actors, and I'm like, why is it not being paid attention to at least a little bit? And just in the past couple of years, like that Haunting at Hill House and some of the Quiet Place and stuff like that, they're finally getting, and I think that that's going to make it better as a whole.
Yeah, I'm not a big I want to be scared kind of person.
Yeah.
I still have not watched. Oh crap! What was the one in the hotel with?
Is it The Shining?
Yeah,
Is
The
that
Shining.
what
I've still not watched The Shining from beginning to end. I rented it years ago in college, like when you had to go to the rental store. Had it, started watching it, and I was alone in the fraternity house, like Thanksgiving weekend or something, and I was like, shut it off and never ever looked back. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but no, that kind of I want to be scared and get that rush. I'm like, that's not me.
I don't think, I could watch the scariest movies people put out there, and they don't scare me. I find them entertaining. So
they scare
Even
me.
the paranormal ones?
Yeah. Well, if there's any that might make me feel a little iffy, it's the paranormal ones. Like when Paranormal Activity, the first one, came out, and I went to theater and watched it. That one gave me the creeps because I had it was relatable to experiences I've had. So I was like, this is crazy. Things like that might really happen. So then so that kind of stuff freaked me out. But now it doesn't, like the Conjuring series and stuff like that.
Nope.
Freaky.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. No, those ones I'm definitely, I've seen all the Jasons, the Freddy Kruegers, all of those. I mean, and I don't love those, but, that was, back in the day. Like, I don't sit at home going through when they start making the list and start showing them on I'm like, no, not for me.
Yeah.
My husband's family, they went to Camp Crystal Lake.
Yep, nope.
That's the Friday the 13th one, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do believe.
I had just seen. Are there multiple of those?
Yeah, there's I forget what Halloween they're actually on. I can use the Google machine and check.
Yeah.
I just watched the first one because they were going on that vacation. I watched it in like the past year.
Yeah, Camp Crystal Lake, that's Jason.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Are
that's...
we waiting for me?
Oh, yeah, you were Googling, so we were...
Oh, I was...
you gotta let us Google fingers work.
But I wasn't allowed to watch scary movies whenever I was younger. I mean, I guess that was fair because I'm a big scaredy cat anyway. So I would sneak. And I watched, I think The Ring might have been the first scary movie. And that's so ironic because it would show, in that movie, it would show The Fly on the TV screen. And then this morning, I'm like doing research for scary movies and Halloween and yada yada. And I'm in the bathroom and there's a fly in there with me. And I was like, this just gives me weird, icky feelings. Ugh.
I haven't seen The Ring in years. I know when that first came out, that was all anybody talked about. It was such a freaky movie then. That backwards walking thing. And
Yeah. And then you talking about Paranormal Activity. I can't remember if it was the second one or if I had rewatched the first one, what happened. But I watched Paranormal Activity, The Fourth Kind, and something else within a matter of a couple of weeks. And when I tell you that my mom was so done with me because I had the living room light, the bedroom light, because they were attached, and I just kept going back and forth between the two, and I was like, neither one of these, I can't sleep. I didn't sleep for weeks.
At least 13.
Jeez.
yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
And the original was...
Chipping away.
78.
little by little.
I know Freddy versus Jason, that one was more comical than it was
I don't even know if that
scary.
was in
was-
there or not, but...
Yeah, that was... They were just beating each other up the whole movie. It was comical.
What was the one that was real shaky? Like it was shot first person.
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
That was the first like found footage. Not the first maybe, but the first like mainstream found footage.
Right. Yeah.
That one was pretty weird too.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. And you got a headache afterwards because from all the shaking.
Was it Johnny Depp that was in one of the Friday the 13th? Or Johnny Depp was
Elm
in
Street. That
Elm
was Freddy
Street.
Krueger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Murder on Elm Street. That was
Yeah.
one of the first, like, I mean, I still remember we saw, what's the Bates Hotel? We saw that in school, like our school auditorium. Like it was this, like the whole school, like it would have been freshmen, juniors, seniors in our auditorium. I was like, whoever thought that would be a good idea to show
Brought in
things were different in the
on-site
80s.
therapist if anyone were to accidentally pull that up on their phone.
Especially like back then.
Because
That
it was the original Bates Motel movie. I can't remember is that the actual name of it?
I don't think that's I know there's a name, but I don't know.
Not The Shining. Shining's the one I'm afraid of. I still won't watch it.
I can't think of the name.
Like Night of the Living Dead, they filmed that in my area. Century 3 Mall was a big mall back home, and it was empty, and they used that for a lot of it. And then Livermore was much like a lot of the towns here that were flooded to build a reservoir and stuff like that. They used that area, and I remember when I was a teenager, we were bored one night and we decided to go up there. And this is one of those ones where you can see the steeple, if the water gets low and, there's roads that go directly into the water and stuff like that. But I remember driving down this road. I was in the back seat of the car, and we were driving down this gravel road. And if you looked out the back window, it literally looked like it was painted over. And we were hustling down this road, and I remember...
I think I've seen a special documentary.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
Yeah.
But because it's Livermore Cemetery is right there. And that's where they did the Night of the Living Dead, the original, and there's been several other ones. But we were driving, we were humming along down this road, and I remember we went over railroad tracks, and it was like a pretty hard hit. And I was like, what if we would have got a flat tire? And they're like, shut up. And I'm like, we need to slow down because we were driving. I just remember we may have been drinking, or we planned on drinking there. And I remember we get to where the road ended and the cemetery was, and there's all these horror stories about, people's cars breaking down, and somebody went for a walk to get help, and a tow truck guy showed up out of nowhere, or there was like scrapey noise on the car, and the boyfriend got out to look, and he was murdered, and all these weird stories. And I just remember we got to the end, and we did a 360, and we booked back out of there. We never got out of the car. But, like, literally me going, what if we were going to flat tire? And they're like, shut up. But I was in the back, like, flipping out, because it was literally, like, painted black, because the oak trees overhung it so much. Like, during the day, it was probably beautiful, but at night, it was pitch black. And I was just like, I cannot see behind us. Like, and we got the heck out of
one
there.
car. I'm like, why doesn't anyone think about just, I don't know, take 2 cars?
Yeah, we had
just
one
in
car.
case?
We were literally bored, and we were like, yeah, let's go. And we never went back. But there, it was one of those stories like you had to go. But, and there was all the stories about, if you got out and went into the cemetery, there was a groundskeeper there, and they would come and chase you out and stuff like that. So, but we didn't get out of the car. We didn't even stop. We literally back out.
It's like people we were talking about going to the paranormal experience and things and being like, please don't let me find anything. Please don't experience anything.
Yeah.
It's like, why'd you go looking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're knocking on the door hoping nobody answers.
Yeah.
Don't look if you don't want to find. Yeah. We were all talking until and it was all 3 guys of, we were, yep. If we would have had probably a female with us, they might have not even gone, but we were like, yeah, we're go.
Voice of reason.
Never got out of the car.
Well, there is one place that you could go check out that's not that far away. So I don't know if you guys know about this. Like I said, I've not seen any movies at all. So then there's things that people apparently have as common knowledge that I didn't even know existed. So you all might already know about these. But, so The Evil Dead, it's a movie from 1981. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love The Evil Dead.
Oh, okay.
There's a whole series.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I've ever seen the whole thing, or at least,
I recognize the name.
I think Tyler brought it up one time on one of the other podcasts.
Probably.
Perhaps. So anyway, the address, it was shot in Morristown, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. And I found the address.
Oh, God.
of the cabin?
Yes.
Oh,
so,
my
okay.
God.
Is it an Airbnb now?
No, it's still privately owned.
That's what you need to do.
So don't go out there. Please don't go out there. I did not encourage this. And if you do, it wasn't my fault. But I think it looked like it was abandoned, probably, maybe, I don't know, from the street view.
I was going to say, can you do a street view?
Yeah. And but it's 2321 Inman Bend Road in Morristown, Tennessee. And it's on a little 5-acre lot. It's not my fault if someone shows up. Shout us out, though, if you're going to be mad. But it's a 5-acre lot, and then if you look at the Zestimate, which is not accurate, ladies and gentlemen, it's not, but it is interesting. It says it's worth about $100K or so. So I thought that was really interesting.
That's cool. I don't
Someone
know.
Will be listening to that.
I don't know that I would go and spend the night in that cabin, but it would be fun to see. They should definitely allow tours. I don't know if it would be as popular being from the first movie, but surely it would be. Even the remake.
Make an Airbnb out of it.
Yeah, seriously.
People love that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to buy this cabin, just do contact us, though. It's holler@yarpod.com.
Yeah.
People love those kind of... people love to be scared.
When I read the plot line on that, though, it reminded me of, have you seen the Cabin in the Woods movie from 2011?
I've heard about it. I don't know if I've ever actually seen it.
It could just be because there's cabin.
But
it sounded...
I always connected
Familiar.
those two because the whole abandoned cabin in the woods horror theme thing. I think probably The Evil Dead was the first started that kind of, and it's hard to have seen that and not expect if you see a cabin in the woods it's going to be a bad deal.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one of the very few scary movies that I had seen in theaters. The Cabin in the Woods. And then once I got towards the end, it really went off the rails.
It really did.
And I was like, you almost had me for a second. It's kind of like Insidious, where it was like I was having a hard time watching it during the daytime. And then there was one scene where they flashed it and you could tell it was some dude in a cloth costume dancing around. And I was like, well, that's not scary anymore. So
Well, see, you guys grew up. Special effects have changed a ton.
Oh yeah.
I mean, back
Have
in
they?
my day,
just kidding.
death stare. Back in my day, I mean, that's the special effects we got.
It was
I mean,
claymation
if you
Star
watched
Wars.
like Texas Chainsaw Murders and stuff like that, you know, the special effects were not very good. Now they could get gory and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
you know, nowadays it's much more realistic,
Well-
even if it's not realistic.
Like if you go back and look at like The Evil Dead is a great example. The fighting skeletons, that whole scene is crazy. But they did a whole lot more like practical effects too. Like the head on his shoulder, they did like makeup and prosthetic.
Oh, yeah.
And so they did a lot more of that. Now it's CGI everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Paranormal is definitely what gets me. But I remember watching a documentary of some sort, and it was talking about back when movies were black and white, and there was a scary movie that they used. It was a shower scene where she, like, gets cut up or something like that, and they used chocolate syrup because it was in black and white.
Yeah,
and
I
it
think
didn't have
that
to be
was-
red, and it...
Bates Motel, I think that was because the
Oh.
scene was
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's
the E.
yeah. That's the famous reason why people have fears of closed showers. Yeah.
Good to know.
Just why a million people of my generation were scared to death of the ocean from Jaws.
Well, I'm still scared of the ocean. I have not seen Jaws. So there's another one called The Curse. It was a 1986 movie. It apparently bombed in the box office, so probably haven't seen it. It's a meteorite crashes in a farm community in Tennessee, and then it starts to infect the land and people.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, so that one was filmed in two places: Tellico Plains, Tennessee, and Rome, Italy.
What? That is a big difference. Wow. That's a big difference.
Yeah, I don't,
Travel budget on that one.
seriously. I don't get signal in Tellico Plains with Verizon, by the way.
It's the middle of nowhere up there.
You pretty much have to have, like, I think it's T-Mobile that works out there. I was on satellite GPS to get home when I went out that direction. Middle of nowhere. And then there's a third one, Dear Dead Delilah. It's a slasher film. Apparently has a big cult following.
I haven't seen that one either. I haven't heard of that one actually.
So it's 1972. But it was filmed in Nashville. And apparently one of the cast members, their health was actually declining during the movie or production. So then they ended up putting her character in a wheelchair, and she ended up dying less than 2 years after the film was released.
That's sad.
So creepy.
Psycho was the name of the movie.
Psycho, that's it.
With
Yeah.
the Bates Motel.
Yeah.
And then there was a TV show, The Bates Motel was the name of it. It wasn't very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. That
Yeah.
was weird.
But
I
yeah,
liked
Psycho.
the TV show.
The TV show. It was all right.
2 stars.
I gave it a thumbs up.
It was enough to keep your attention for sure. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't like the best show ever, but you could keep watching it and be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So there were some entertaining moments.
Yeah, I grew up with like Birds. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, Hitchcock.
Yeah, Hitchcock.
Yeah.
A lot of Hitchcock kind of
Can't beat Hitchcock.
more psychological kind of fears and
That's why Cheryl is terrified of birds. I'm like, I have chickens, and she's like, that's a bird. Keep it away. I'm like, it's a chicken.
I have a friend that has a serious fear of birds, and I wonder if that's where it came from.
Maybe.
it's very possible because it's all about birds.
Yeah. If they watched the birds, then
Yeah.
that would make sense.
Well, they really named it the right thing then.
I'm not a fan of chickens. I'm always afraid how hard they peck.
Yeah. I mean, they're not terrible.
I know, but in my head, I think it's pretty bad.
I got pecked one time right underneath the eye, and it left a blood blister right there. It was my own fault because we had the way the boxes were. They were in the back of the coop, and we had the roost in front of them, so I had to like dip down underneath them and raise up to check, and I did that one day, and of course, Mama
He
Hen
was waiting for you.
Mama Hen is sitting on the eggs there, and as soon as my head popped up, hey, I thought I lost an eye.
Did you learn your lesson?
I learned my lesson. Never did it again. Without at least checking from a distance first.
No, so you said you've not seen Halloween Town, right?
No, I can't even picture it in my head.
Dang. That's like one of the few fun size. That's the movie that I was thinking of earlier. I love that movie. It's a new one, newer.
No
Is that like
idea.
a switching places
Hold
kind
up.
of?
It's a
What's it called?
fun size. It's the cutest little boy, and he doesn't talk, and so it's just set around Halloween, and so they're like the big sister is like taking care of him and yada yada, and it's
Yeah, I don't know this one.
they're running around like I think trying to find the kid and all that, and everybody's trick or treating and everybody's in costumes and stuff. But I like Halloween setting movies.
Nope. Does not look familiar.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. I know Halloween Town, and that was definitely a Disney thing, and they had like 4 movies.
And the Twitches.
And Twitches, that was another one.
I like
Yep,
that
nope.
one. And it might have been Jesse McCartney's song in that one.
Nope. And nobody looks
It's Tia
other than
Tamara.
Anna Gassier, but no one looks familiar in that.
Yeah, and those
Johnny
are,
Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville was in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been probably 2 years since I've seen it, but
Yeah,
it's
I'm
one of
not.
theirs.
I have no idea. I'll have to look that one up. I don't
Jorgen.
know.
Jorgen. Was that Johnny
No,
Knoxville?
I don't know names. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've got no idea.
Does not ring a bell.
Have you seen Hocus Pocus?
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen it, bits and pieces. At least I know who kind of was in it and
Oh,
stuff
come
like
on,
that.
Todd. You've got to watch Hocus Pocus.
I feel like it's a chick flick.
It's what? No,
A chick flick. It's a classic.
Isn't that like?
definitely not a chick flick.
It's such a classic that I've seen it.
It's not Practical Magic.
Who was?
That's a chick flick.
So who was in? Who's in Hocus Pocus?
Who are the 3?
Chicks.
Yeah,
Chick,
what
chick.
they are, but
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a chick flick. If I ever saw
Just
one.
because there's a famous woman in it?
Because all 3 are
Sarah
famous.
Jessica
Isn't it?
Parker, Bette Midler,
Yeah, exactly.
and Kathy Najimy.
Yep, sounds like a
Yeah,
chick flick.
it is not.
It is definitely not. It is a little bit more of a kid movie.
It's a kid movie.
Okay.
It was.
And like, I'm not even sure if I've seen Beetlejuice from start to finish. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
That's a classic one too.
Yeah.
I just watched the second one.
Beetlejuice.
It was all right.
You saw this? You just saw it?
It was on brand with the first one, so they did a good job of keeping that kind of.
Yeah, I was curious how.
And how Winona
Ryder.
Winona.
You were close.
We just had Sarah Jessica Parker. Sorry. She was a little girl in the first one, and then she was in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love whenever they do things like that. Keep the same actor.
Yeah.
20 years later.
And they brought back the same mom too. A lot of the original.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the original people were dead, and one of them was not brought back into the show. His likeness was used, and they had his character in there, but it was funny the way they did it. But he's in jail or has like bad charges or something, so he wasn't getting involved. Nobody will ever hire him
Yeah,
again.
I think he had some bad press, so they want to.
Yeah, it
I think I
was.
saw something on it.
If I remember right, it was something to do with minors. So
Okie dokie.
yeah,
And
so they cut him right out.
I think the slasher, like a lot of the horror movies that multiple, like the Halloweens and stuff like that, they do a pretty good job of bringing people back, like Scream and stuff like that. The other kind of Halloween-ish, movies, they do a pretty good job of trying to get people back, at least the ones that haven't been killed off in it.
Yeah.
If they made
That's
it to the
ironic.
end. Yeah.
And usually there's only 1 or 2 that make it to
Yeah,
the end.
exactly. I mean,
for Hocus Pocus, it wasn't going to be such a chick flick originally, as you say, Todd. They were originally trying to cast Madonna and Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so weird.
Can you imagine?
That would have been really weird. Hey y'all, this is Tyler with your real estate tip of the day. When you're looking to buy a home, be sure your realtor checks to see whether or not your preferred area is serviced by a city fire department that's covered by the property taxes, or if it's in one that requires a paid subscription. Knox County is primarily serviced by rural metro, but your area may be different. The monthly cost will typically depend on location, which you can check your specific cost by entering your address on their website. I know nobody likes another monthly fee, but this one is definitely worth it. God forbid you need their services and have an emergency and don't have a subscription. If you do, then you are going to probably have to pay many thousands of dollars. If you have any other questions about this, or if you have other real estate related questions, please let us know at holler@yarpod.com.
Yeah, I could see Madonna maybe
Madonna probably would
more
have
than
fit. Rosie that's no.
I saw where she had made a comment about not wanting to be the like fat, unattractive, like whatever.
Yeah, she would have fit that character. She wouldn't have played. She wouldn't have played the character very well, though. Like, honestly, her acting, I've never liked her in anything she's ever done.
Yeah.
Her voice, I can't stand it. I don't know.
Yeah, she's a little. She's a lot over the top.
over the top. Yeah, I'm not a big
like,
over the top.
What's that guy's name?
Oh,
From The
Sandler?
Mask.
No, not Sandler.
Oh, Jim Carrey.
Jim
Carrey,
Carrey.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just too much for me. Although I will say Adam Sandler in the past, like, probably 10, 15 years in his movies, he talks in a baby voice, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty much a hallmark.
Yeah,
He's done that ever since his stand-up.
He tried a serious movie. It was a sci-fi movie. It was not good. It was awful.
Whatever gems, hidden gems.
No, he was like an astronaut trapped in space, and some alien thing got in there, and it was like a very serious, dramatic movie.
Yes, it was a spider.
Yeah, it was like a giant spider alien, but it was like really weird. I don't know. I didn't like it. Was not a fan. I went into it like, oh, this is going to be good, and it was not at all.
Yeah, Brett has a tendency to pick really weird movies that are way too long.
Yeah, it was super dry. The entire movie was dry.
And I just kept thinking, like, where is the climax? And then it was over.
Yeah, it never came. That was my exact thought. It was like, what's the point? What are we... You're leading up to what?
Line,
yeah, it was weird. I didn't...
Yeah.
He should not do that again.
Yeah. Oh, he has that... Adam Sandler had that one movie come out a couple years ago, the Halloween movie.
Yeah, that one was actually pretty good.
Huey Halloween.
Huey Halloween, yeah.
Huey Halloween.
It was funny.
You watch that? I had so many famous
No
people.
idea.
Yeah,
at this
it
point,
was
all
good.
of his do, but
Nope.
it was okay.
Yeah.
To go straight to video or?
No, it was a Netflix.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty much contracted to do most of his stuff with Netflix now.
Nope, never saw it.
Yeah. Well, how the tables have turned.
I know. He hasn't seen any of these.
Speaking of Michael Myers, or maybe I did. I don't know. Anyway, the mask worn by Michael Myers in the Halloween films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is the type of thing.
I mean,
that
that's
I'm like,
that's a really well-known...
it's based on a Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek, and then they painted it white.
Yeah.
These are the things that I'm like, okay, everybody else seems to just know all of this information, and I'm just walking through life like...
Wait a minute, say that again?
So the mask that Michael Myers wore in the Halloween films, it was a Captain Kirk...
Yeah.
like death mask, like of Captain Kirk's face from Star Trek, and they painted it white.
They went to the store and bought a cheap mask that was his and painted it white, and that's what he wore.
I don't think I knew that.
Really? Yeah. That's a pretty well-known piece of trivia from the
I did not know that.
Yeah, that they didn't do some sort of professional design. They literally went and bought a dollar store mask and painted it.
But yeah, I didn't know it was based off of Captain Kirk.
In Star Trek, I have seen.
I don't think that...
I did not know that.
That film was a low-budget kind of starting point.
Yeah.
And I don't think they ever expected it to become such a following when it first. So when they did that, it was like, well, how do we keep the cost down? Well, we don't need a makeup artist. Let's just paint this cheap mask and put him in a
Yeah, because I mean,
jumpsuit.
literally had a jumpsuit and bad hair.
And it became an iconic character.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can spot that a mile away. And there's so many other like spinoffs, like just little kid standing there by himself with holding a knife, and just that
creepy.
silhouette.
Yeah.
Hair spiked, a mask on, a white mask.
I am not going to dress my child as something
they always-
freaky. Whether they're like at this point, you're making the choices for them until they're probably like 7 or something like
Yeah,
that.
but I feel like a lot of kids though they get into it. And,
Yeah.
I mean, if they get into it,
especially
sure.
boys maybe. Well,
Yeah.
but I feel like some girls just go that gory too
I mean,
sometimes.
when I was 5 or 6, I was like, I want to be a vampire. I want to be something scary. I wasn't like, give me something cool. Like the old Scream mask with the pump blood. Like you held
jeez.
you held a little pump and the blood came down the face, and that was me when I was like 10.
You still run around biting people.
Yeah, no, not recently. I mean, you get in trouble for that now.
I was looking up Freddy Krueger to see if he had a mask, but no, it was just kind of.
I did go as a
Grotesque.
vampire for Halloween last year, though, so there's that.
Oh, can you have pictures?
I do have pictures. I at least have one.
I've always gone like.
We'll flash those up on the screen.
I don't know about all that, but
Easy editor.
I've never gone gory. I was shark. I
Sharks
think I
are
was
gory.
skeleton last year. But I mean, I wasn't like gored up. But
my dad did one year. He blew me away. He like got tissue paper and like stuck it on his face and put blood and stuff on it, like fake blood, and like he got the coveralls and had the chainsaw with no blade on it and was like chasing people around. Yeah, that was probably the scariest costume I ever seen him do. That was back when I was talking about in a previous episode, the whole family would get involved and we would try to throw like a little haunted house for our Halloween theme. Yeah, we used to get tons of the trick-or-treaters, but then over the years, people started doing block parties and things, and people quit coming, so.
I think the scariest costume I was ever in was when I was like maybe 5 or 6. I was an angry bride. And that wasn't the intent. I was just in a wedding dress, and I was angry that night. I don't know what was happening.
I was angry that
so you weren't like gored up or anything. You were just
no.
a mad
I think there's
bride.
a picture of me just like in a door frame, and I've got just like a fist, and I'm like, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if someone disturbed a nap or what. But it was almost like the Mean Girls. Another Halloween themed movie that I love.
That is not a Halloween themed movie. There's a Halloween
It
scene in the movie.
Definitely is.
What movie?
So, Mean Girls. How many opinions do you have on this one?
Talk about a
not-
chick flick.
Another one I've not seen.
So it starts out early on in the movie. He's talking. Mean Girls Day is October 3rd because she's like, I turned around and asked him what day, or he asked me what day it was, and I said October 3rd. Then you get towards the middle and the end, and they're talking about dressing up for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's a Halloween
I
setting.
don't think that's a Halloween
But she
movie.
talked about wearing a scary costume because she didn't understand the concept of dressing up for
Yeah.
Halloween, and she came as an ex-wife, quote unquote, and so she was like a scary bride, gory bride.
And all the other girls were dressed in, Playboy bunny style.
I love the slutty costumes. I'm not a big gory. I was looking. I couldn't remember who or what movie the hockey mask was from, but it's Friday the 13th. I'd look it up because they were all starting to run together.
Yeah, that
I
one's.
was like,
That's Jason.
yeah,
Hockey mask and a machete.
yeah, that was Camp
Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel like I need to quiz you on the Halloween movies and see if you've seen them or not. So I asked the Chat GPT what the most iconic Halloween movies are. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this list, but then again, I'm probably not the right consultant anyway. Number 1 is Halloween, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Number
makes sense.
2, Hocus Pocus. Number 2.
Did not see.
Number 3, The Exorcist.
Saw, well, at least part of it. Yeah,
I watched the first one. I didn't see the others.
I'm sure I've seen it. But
You kind of get the point.
yeah.
So, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've not
Iconic. That
seen
was
that
like
one.
80s.
That's the Freddy.
Yeah.
Scream.
Yep.
I remember the first Scream.
Yeah, there's like 30 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same way with Halloween and Friday the 13th.
Psycho.
Yep.
The Addams Family.
Oh, of course.
Oh, that's
That's a good one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up with the TV show. I'm sure I've seen the movie part of it at least.
You were watching TV when it was in black and white?
It was probably the 70s.
Yeesh. Okay. It. I don't agree with that.
Is
that
that
is not an iconic
the first one?
Halloween movie.
Yeah, and that was part of the
2017.
Addams Family, so
Not the remake, but the original It.
2017 is what this one's
Oh,
saying.
well,
yeah,
that's
I
the
think
remake.
that was
I
the
didn't know
original.
it was an original.
The original, yeah, that was like people's reason for being afraid of clowns.
Oh.
Like, what's the guy's name? Tim Curry played It in the 80s. Yeah.
Oh.
You don't remember that? I feel like that would have been a big one. Because that one is one of the big, like, Tim Curry movies. It's probably the biggest if you think about Tim Curry. It's that and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, you know,
I was gonna say
think of
Rocky.
Tim Curry all the time. Never heard that before, but
I'm honestly impressed with myself with how much of this and actors' names that I know because I'm terrible with knowing actors' names.
When I put in it comes up 2017. I wonder if it had a different name.
No, it was the same name. It's just they remade the movie in 2017, and they had Bill Skarsgård play It for that one.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Is that a Halloween?
I'd say that's when it's most popular. So
Yeah.
me growing up, people used like at the movie theater, like
So
they
it's
would
a
take
movie.
rice. You know, they would do all the.
Yeah.
They would play along with it and stuff like that. It was big. I remember going once, whenever I was. I don't think I was 21 yet going, and I thought stuff was going down because there's somebody walking in somewhere and they had this big white bag, and I literally thought it was cocaine. Like, but they were going into a movie theater and they had all the props because like you throw stuff at the screen and stuff like that through the whole movie.
I don't even know the gist of what
It's a
about.
really weird
Yeah,
cult following
yeah,
musical.
it's definitely cult following, and I feel like the Venus Flytrap movie kind of spun off of that.
I don't think that you're talking.
Not the old.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't think those are related
did
at
it
all.
spin off of that at all?
You know, they
or-
might have. I could see a connection because the whole extraterrestrial thing.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit, but back in my day, that was it had a huge cult following. If they always played it like at midnight.
It still does. They do like
Really, I never see it anymore.
They
Or at
do.
least coming out.
they do viewing parties. It was a Broadway show. They,
But Meatloaf
yeah.
got real big. The singer Meatloaf became real big. Not the food.
Meatloaf really took off that
Well, some
year.
people have probably never heard of
Yeah.
know the movie or Meatloaf because he passed away 10 years ago, give or take, or maybe
It's
not that long.
been a while.
But I mean, that's an iconic movie. Now, Halloween, I mean, they're all in costume, and
That's
I mean,
usually when you see people doing the
Right.
screenings and stuff.
I think you got to see it. You know, it's fun.
It is. It's a weird.
Yeah, it's really weird.
But usually when people do screenings for it, though, people will show up in costume.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's showing up in drag.
It
And
sounds
Drag.
like you're kind of a gig.
I've
just
been to two or three,
dress
but
I
up.
can't remember what all they throw. I think there's water involved. I think there's rice.
yeah,
Marshmallows, maybe?
I can't
Or
remember.
maybe it's marshmallows instead of rice.
Maybe.
But I just remember sitting there, and maybe we had came out of a movie, and we were sitting there, and all these people were like going in, and we're like, "What the effing heck?" You know, I grew up in the country, so it wasn't like my sister wasn't into it, so I didn't know anything about it. We didn't have the internet, so I was literally like, "What are these people?" And they were dressed up and black, and you
Yeah.
know, some people were in
It's
what do you call it?
the main characters are like extraterrestrial transvestites.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's Tim Curry in full like goth drag. It's
Yeah.
all black and heavy eyeliners
Yeah.
and eyeshadows and Yeah, and they're dancing and singing and acting crazy, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
That does sound interesting.
It's a fun watch.
I
You
mean,
have to at
imagine
least
me
watch
as a
it once.
16-year-old going and not knowing anything about it. Like, I was like, because I think people were literally kind of in drag in black area, and I was like, there's a big drug something going on here.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a whole event. If you've got people or friends who are into that kind of thing and they do like a watch party,
Yeah.
they'll do viewings for that. And like I've seen networking groups host these events, and like you see all the craziest stuff, but they'll do like, oh, we're doing a Rocky Horror Picture Show themed party and we're gonna play the movie, and everybody shows up dressed up. So
Well, now I'm interested.
yeah,
I'm going to have to watch it.
you'll have to watch it. It's
Yeah,
fun.
you got to.
Well, Beetlejuice was another one on that list.
Not seen it, but
Yeah, I could
At
see
least
that.
I don't know if I've-
Unbelievable.
I'm 99% sure I haven't seen it.
That is truly
I can't
impressive.
believe you haven't seen Beetlejuice.
So probably, when did it first come out? 90s, 2000s?
88.
Late 80s.
88? Really? See, I was in the restaurant business then, so like,
We didn't have time for movies in the restaurant.
well, I never like, I didn't, I was working. I mean, 12 hours a day, so.
Yeah, if you were hospitality
We were
service
out
back
partying
then.
plenty of hours a
Well,
day,
but yeah, I
too.
wasn't going to the movies. I might have been partying. I was burning the candle at both ends.
Working and partying, and that was
Yeah.
it. No time for movies.
And you were partying with people from work, probably at somebody's house. So.
I feel like that would have been a drive-in event, just going to see the
Oh, I missed it.
Beetlejuice.
We had a drive-in in our town that turned to X-rated drive-through. Swear to God.
What? No way.
Its later years, it was all X-rated movies.
That
That
is
is weird.
crazy.
As a teenager, you're always like driving by trying to catch a sneak of the
Yeah, I
screen,
bet.
but you couldn't. And the funny part was, my grandmother, who worked, that I've talked about many a times in these podcasts, that worked in my cafeteria at school, worked in the cafeteria at the drive-in theater. Now, she didn't work at the
Pre or post?
pre
Okay.
before it turned into.
She was serving lunch at the.
Yeah, she would.
X-rated.
Heaven bed, she'd roll over in her grave if she worked there when it was X-rated. But yeah, I mean, the irony was not lost on me. But it was funny because I mean, it was the entrance, was right along the road. But whenever movie theaters started dying off, it stayed open for years, and it was always X-rated. I always thought it was hilarious. But as a teenager, I was always trying to go by and try to catch a peek at it.
Never
Okay.
heard of that.
I've never ever seen it. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it was golden. And I'll be honest, there wasn't
movie
any
theaters in the first place is just weird, but for it to be a
drive-in.
drive-in,
Yeah,
it
that's
was weird. It
yeah,
was
that's
weird.
Pretty weird.
Believe you me. Tyler's got a good shirt on for today.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice it.
I wore it on purpose for today. Actually,
Oh, it's
I got the little skull candy shirt on.
Well, I know your answer. Have you seen The Nightmare Before Christmas?
I'm gonna say no, but I'm no. I'm gonna say no.
You would know if you
Yeah,
had.
I'm gonna say no.
It was 1993. You've had so long to watch this.
Again,
movie.
I was yeah.
Huge cult following.
Are
Restaurant.
you, do you
cult
like
following.
that movie?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That was
Is it animated?
coming from. It was like
Claymation?
claymation. Yeah, Tim Burton
Yeah,
film.
I've probably seen part of it. Yeah. What was Edward Scissorhands? Yeah.
I'm a recovering emo kid, so yes, I've seen.
It's the shirt
Yeah, exactly.
and the
See,
swoopy hair today.
And
yeah, it's not as swoopy as
Tim
it
Burton.
usually
Yeah,
is.
I've never
but
been a big Burton fan.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, never been a fan.
Yeah, I can't believe that Edward Scissorhands wouldn't come up in this list.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, but I don't remember it.
It's not really a October Halloween movie. It's just one of those
I
odd.
bet. Yeah, that's when it came out, though.
Did
I was
it?
a bet, if I was a betting man, if I looked the release date, I bet it would be close to it.
It would make sense because that's on brand for Tim Burton. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like a horror movie. It was just a interesting, weird.
Never been a huge Tim Burton fan.
Well, Tyler, is The Nightmare Before Christmas, is it a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween
Yes,
movie?
it's both. The answer is both. It's a Christmas movie.
Can't be both.
It's a
It's-
Christmas movie? Why?
I mean, the whole thing is Christmas themed. like Halloween Town goes and kidnaps Santa Claus, and then he becomes Santa Claus and gets shot down. The whole thing is
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
30 years later.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so I had to look it up on, because I'm in the same boat, and I was just like, I'm not really sure, but looked it up on Reddit. I wanted to see what people were saying. And so there was one user that said, it's a movie that opens up on Halloween night, and the entire rest of the movie is almost the whole cast finding out about preparing for and celebrating Christmas. Then it ends with them saving Christmas last minute, teaching the meeting about the holiday. Sounds like a Christmas movie to me. Someone else said, I watch it every 4th of July.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Somebody just wanted to be different. That's funny.
That's weird.
And then there was another that brought up a good point. They said it was released on October 29th. So it was intended to be a Halloween movie.
Yeah. That I would have figured that, but it is a Halloween movie with Christmas theme.
Have you ever watched it around Christmas, though?
No, never. I don't think.
So I don't need to research it.
But it does come on, like, you will see it played on around Christmas quite a bit.
Where?
Thanksgiving.
TV? No.
Reddit?
I don't know. I don't watch cable TV anymore, so. But you see it advertised around now.
AMC.
I don't know how different your algorithm is, but I'm not seeing that around Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like Christmas or anything related to Christmas, so.
I think we got the answer.
Bah humbug. I'm saying Halloween movie.
Yeah, I'm saying Halloween movie.
Okay, I'll agree.
You didn't want to.
I'll concede.
Christmas is ruined.
That just adds another good one to the Halloween list.
Okay, to finish up, were there any other Halloween movies that you liked that we missed?
Texas Chainsaw Murder. I mean, those are very gory. The Hills Have Eyes. You ever seen that one?
That's a freaky movie.
That's a freaky movie.
Is that it puts the lotion on its skin?
No, that's a different movie.
That's
Silence
another
of the
one.
Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, that one's.
Yeah, I don't know if I consider that one well, if you just like spooky, scary movies, I mean, that's more of a thriller
Yeah.
kind of deal.
The
The Hills Have Eyes, that's
a
freaky.
Weird movie.
What's Squeal Like a Pig? Is that Hills Have Eyes? No, that's oh crap, the one that filmed in.
I know what you're talking about. Not Deliverance. It's the.
Yeah, I'm thinking
it
of
was
Deliverance. Yeah, Deliverance.
Yeah.
That's another one. Did
That
you see
was-
Deliverance? Ooh.
No.
That's a freaking weird
Yeah.
one.
Now you know. Watch some of those, and you'll know why I don't like Halloween or scary movies. Is because those.
When somebody is like, "Let's get out of here," I hear banjos.
Yeah.
That's where that came from.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
you got to watch it. I mean,
It's-
I remember watching a movie one time, and we had friends over, and
There's some scenes that are hard to watch.
we had our
Like gory?
Like,
yeah, just
brutal.
yeah, being. We were watching it one time, rented it in my house, and I remember our sidewalk ran along our living room, and we had 2 windows, and we were in there watching it. There's probably like 10 of us in there. And I remember my dad was walking by and saw, like, we had the windows open because we had the screens because it was like springtime. He's like, "What are you guys watching?" Everyone literally screamed because no one was expecting it. And it was like a weird, one of the spots in there that was like freaky, scary. And it was like, and again, I grew up in the country. I mean, I didn't have neighbors right beside us. So a lot of these movies were like, like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I watched mostly the Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have those.
Well, you mentioned The Fourth Kind, and like that was a freaking weird movie. The Fourth
Yeah.
Kind was freaky. It had me researching places in Alaska. I'm like, is this even a real place? Did this
And it's
actually
like
happen?
A mixture of aliens and paranormal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it really did.
I don't
me
think I
in.
ever saw it.
But it was kind of like a found footage, kind of a combination of found footage and not found footage. But
Loosely based on true.
yeah, and I
stories.
went down the rabbit hole and started researching, and some of the facts are true, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this is crazy.
Now, is Ghost a Halloween movie?
That's a chick flick.
See, I love Ghost. What about the? I'm thinking of thrillers like. What was one? The kid was dead the whole time, but he was like in
Sixth
it.
Sense.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
husband was dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was
Or
it?
the
Is that a
dad, I
Halloween
guess.
movie?
I don't know if that's a Halloween movie, but it would fit the bill.
I feel
I
like
like
that's
that
one
one.
that would come on.
Yeah.
He had some of these religious kind of like ones growing up. I'm trying to think of some of the ones. Sixth Sense. No, I can't remember.
I don't know.
Like where like there's blood coming out, like out of a statue and stuff like that. Kind of the religious Catholic.
Stigmata was a really weird one.
Yeah, and it's almost like I saw that one.
It was a weird one.
But
I remember seeing that when I was younger, thinking how freaky that was. What about Signs?
That's one of the ones I was
For
gonna
the
say.
extraterrestrial.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen Signs? Oh my gosh, you've got to make a point to see it. Like, watch it in the dark, in a quiet space.
No.
The one scene will live in your memory forever.
No.
Yes. You have to.
I'll tell
We
you.
all did.
The Haunting on Hill House, the series on Netflix.
Yeah, that's
Such
a good show.
It was so good. That's another one. It's like the good production, the good actors. I was having sleep paralysis during the day because I was so sleep deprived. I was trying to take a nap.
Oh my God.
And I was still just like, all I could see was that dude with the top hat walking around while I'm
crooked
trying
man.
to sleep. And then I'd have sleep paralysis and it'd be that girl hanging over me.
He was supposed to be getting his own show. I want that so bad. But I don't think it ever actually happened.
Now, I've not seen any of them. American Horror Story, is that?
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know.
It depends
if
on the
it's-
season.
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah.
Some of the storylines
I've
are
never
better
seen
than
it. It
others.
just seems too freaky for me. I've just
The Haunted
never.
House one was pretty good.
Yeah,
It caught you off guard a few times.
I like.
I don't need that.
I like that one. I like the Covenant.
Yeah.
Or the Coven. I mean, there was another season that I really liked.
Oh, the hotel one.
Yeah, that was
freaky.
That was probably one of their best ones.
Yeah.
I go in
So-
too many abandoned houses for
That was
some of these.
the one. Lady Gaga was one of the.
I don't think I finished the season
Yeah.
because once Lady Gaga came into the picture, I was like, this
She
is lame.
she did an all right job, but for her being like the main baddie, it didn't really
Yeah.
make sense. The character writing wasn't there
Yeah.
for me, but yeah, as an actor, it was all right.
And the insane asylum.
Oh yeah,
You want to talk about like
that was a
them
weird one.
talking about lobotomies and all
Yeah,
kinds of stuff.
that was a weird one.
Yeah. Pretty good. I did not realize how much I was actually into this genre, but apparently I am because I have not seen any movies in my life, and I have just covered them. Okay.
You need to go back and watch some of the classics, though. I mean, without the special effects that
Bad
we
effects
have now.
and low quality picture. I can't go back and watch anything pre-90s.
I want to go and
I don't
sit and
like
watch
it.
Signs now because I haven't seen it in a long time. When that movie first came out and you got through all of what was going on, it was one of those that like
I don't think I saw it at the movie theater. I think I saw it.
you were definitely on the edge of your seat for that movie, and then at one point when the what you're looking for reveals itself, you're just like, oh, but it's literally like a split second, like you blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that like you'll never forget the scene when you see it. Yeah,
Scarred for life.
it's great.
Yeah, I'm traumatized. I now understand where some of my trauma comes from.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's been a good episode. So
That was
I love
sure
that
very
one.
good.
rate, review, and subscribe, and see y'all next week.
Thanks,
Peace.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you or someone you know is thinking about buying or selling real estate in East Tennessee, email us at holler@yarpod.com. You can also reach Brittany Hawkins at 423-270-9572, Todd Huber at 865-456-0101, Tyler Letner at 865-816-0076, and Nick Cantey at 865-250-5167. Our office at Wallace Real Estate can be reached at 865-584-4000. Make sure to ask for YARPod. See y'all next week.